It has been a marvelous Tuesday, busy Tuesday, but a marvelous Tuesday. Hope everybody had a great day thus far. Got some things accomplished, overcame some adversity, got realigned, refocused, said some affirmations to yourself, determination, all that good stuff. And everyone a chance to join us who will be with us tonight. And we will get started.
PsycHE, PsycHE in me, the PsycHE in me.
All right. Making sure y'all can hear us as well. If not, put it in the chat, which I know y'all will, but I think you can hear us. All right. Give it a few more
Come
moments.
on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We are excited on this evening. As I said earlier, it's been a busy Tuesday, but an exciting Tuesday, a marvelous Tuesday. So we thank you for joining in with us. Ooh, I know sometimes it's scary on the phone. And I know but I'm saying sometimes she be on the phone, on the other, on your.
No, it's fine.
Oh,
It's
it's awesome.
fine. All right. Yep, I'm ready to get started.
Well, again, we say welcome to PsycHE in Me. We thank you for joining us on this great Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
For those that are just joining us, we welcome you to the PsycHE community. And for those that are continuous PsycHE in Me community members, we say thank you for joining us. We know you could be doing other things or doing whatever. But we thank you for your faithfulness to us, your encouragement. We truly, truly thank all of you for the wonderful comments that we receive week after week, and different people walking up to us that we don't even know that are watching this, that are telling us how much they enjoy it. So again, we just thank everyone, those that are quiet in the background, and those who are vocal and will share their comments in the comments section. We thank you all for joining us, and on our TikTok platform, we truly thank you all for supporting and being engaged. It's exciting. Um, so anyway, we're gonna get started tonight. I'm gonna let Brittany kick us off and do the talking, and I'll chime in and all that good stuff.
Yep. So as you can see down there at the headline, it is Transparent Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So if you're not new and you're part of the PsycHE In Me community, welcome back. If you are new, thanks for tuning in and joining us, and come on and be a part of the community. So today's topic is going to talk about breaking self-sabotaging, or kind of sabotaging yourself, and what that looked like. So it really is breaking self-sabotaging patterns. And then we're going to ask the questions like, am I my own roadblock, right? And am I, blocking myself? And I've done that before when it comes to that, like questioning yourself, like, is it me? Like, what's going on, right? So I got a question, right? Just an opening question. You can put it in the chat, please engage. But I do want to ask, like, have you ever like prayed for something, worked for something, or wanted something so badly, and then somehow, some way, like you get in your own way, and you be like, dang, why I do that, or why I say that, or why didn't I do that, right? So you kind of get in your own way. So I want to talk about that because I think it's relatable, right? And I'm trying to go in the direction of talking about real life events, and
Yes.
with the commentary that we talk about, like we really growing through what we going through. And I think we all, once you look at it, you're like, nah, not me. I don't self-sabotage. When you look at it, you might can relate and be like, oh, you know what? I never thought about that. I kind of do self-sabotage. So as you know, I like to ask the question, well, what does that really look like, right? And also I want you to know that it doesn't always look destructive. And so we're gonna start there, but definitely in the commentary, see if you answer that question, like if you ever prayed for something or worked for something, or wanted something so badly that you somehow got in your own way. So let's start here, right? I'm working on stop saying that's one of my things. But when people hear the phrases like self sabotage, right? Like you automatically think of something that's bad, something that's extreme, or like again destructive. For example, it can be like a toxic relationship. It can be like addiction, right? Or major mistakes, life altering decisions. Okay, hello, been there, done that. And then sometimes, self sabotage can also be much quieter than that. Like it doesn't negate the fact that sometimes that can sometimes be true, but it's also another part of that. And sometimes it sounds like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go start this next week, or I'm not ready yet. And for me, I think about that some more. I need to think about that some more. That's what kind of like the overthinkers. And also like, what if I fail? Right. So that is some things. Do you have like an example of one that you might hear?
Yeah, and I think one of my favorite ones is, looking at it and saying, "What if people judge me?"
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we get so worried about that, like, what are they gonna think?
Yeah.
Are they gonna judge me because of X, Y, Z? And so we can sometimes, excuse me, guys, sabotage ourselves in that way. Excuse me, as well. When I think about that, so that's one thing that I do hear people say a lot is, what if they judge me? What if they don't? So
Yeah,
things you got to think about.
That's a good one. And that one has stopped so many people like from becoming who they were meant to be. And we always talk about like continue to become. There's always a chance to become because you're always evolving, right? As long as you're here on this earth, and this is just my opinion, as long as you're here on this earth, you are always able to evolve and to keep becoming. And so yeah, I think that's one way that people often use that.
Yeah. And then, too, you got to look at like self-sabotage. Um, self-sabotage, sorry, I'm trying to set my phone up so I can see. But self-sabotage isn't always destroying your life. It's not always about destroying your life. Sometimes it can delay you in your growth, though. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
It can delay you in your growth because when you're afraid of something, I mean, let's keep it real. When we're afraid of the unknown, things we don't know, like if we're going for a certain job or we're going for want a certain thing and we don't know something, and we can just be honest because of that uncertainty, because we don't know what the end is going to be or we don't know what the outcome is going to be. A lot of times we can cause it to delay us in growth. But we got to remember, growth comes with pain, growth comes with learning, and things like that. But I will definitely say it can delay you in your growth. Um, so you got to be careful with that and make sure you're not allowing it to delay your growth because you are self-sabotaging your own self.
Okay. And from your experience, like a real life example, again, like what would that look like to help us kind of grow through what we're going through? What does that look like?
Right. So I would say, like, if I want to start a business, right, and say I got the skills, I know how to do it. I got the skills. I got the tools. I'm ready. You got the knowledge. You got the support. You got the vision. But yet, it's like every time it's time to launch that very thing, we folks in church like to talk about birthing something, right? Oh, you got this going on and we're going to birth this, or you got this growing and you're going to birth this. But it's not about the natural birth that they talk about. It's about when we have those visions, when we have those ideas, when we have those dreams, when we have ambitions and goals. That's what it's talking about, is that you abort that because you knew you had the skills, you knew you had the knowledge, you knew you had the support, you knew you had the vision. But then when it's time for that thing to launch, when it's time for you to step out there and do it, then we try to find other reasons to wait. We try to find other reasons why we should be waiting. Well, XYZ didn't approve it. Or they didn't say that's a good idea. Or you're waiting for somebody else's validation over your own accomplishments, over your own goal that you set for yourself. But I just want to put it out here and I'm a hush. Everybody don't want you to reach your goal. So that sometimes the very ones we're waiting for to give us that check mark is the very ones that's going to hold on to it because they know you're not going to move unless they approve it. But you don't need no one else's approval, honestly, for anything that God has given you or created you to do, but His and yours. That's it. That's it.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree. And then talking about heart, some people may be so desperate and wanting healthy love. I want to do a segment on that, like what does that look like?
Right.
But every time that they meet someone, right, and they're actually healthy, like this is one that will be good for them, they pull away, right? Or they start responding, and they convince themselves already, like, oh, this is not going to work. Or you'll hear them say, the good saying, like, oh, they're too good for me, right? Or they'll convince themselves, like, no, it's not because of that. I don't want love. When the whole time you been in that secret prayer closet praying for a healthy love, healthy relationship, right? And it's really, honestly, I feel like it's because they're scared. And that's one way that I feel like you can self-sabotage when it comes to like that healthy love relationship. Stop pulling away. You better respond back.
Right.
You're worth it.
Right. And I think too, for me, if I can add something, is that fear can disguise itself as logic. We want to be logical about something. Well, the reason why is because of this and that, and that wouldn't work because of this and that. How do you know? You haven't even tried it. But that's fear setting in, self-doubt setting in, making you doubt yourself. And it's good to have a support group that can support you. Yes, it is, and we should have one. But sometimes it don't fall like that always. But try your best to not let fear become your logic. Because then I'm telling you, because I'm guilty, I've been guilty of that, you will self-sabotage yourself for real in your growth and from achieving things because you got fear, you got logic acting and disguising itself as fear. And, I'll say fear disguising itself as logic. And you will allow that to become your reasoning when really it's what's destroying you. It's what's keeping you from reaching your destiny. So
Yep. And so I guess we can kind of get practical with it too,
mhm.
with sabotaging the everyday life, right? Because again, as I mentioned, someone might be listening and be like, well, you know what? I don't self sabotage, right? So I think let's talk about like common ways that it may show up where people, don't realize that they're self sabotaging.
Yeah,
Because I got some examples. I mean, unless you want me to go first,
yeah,
but
you can. But I would say for me, right? So let me say this. So I have one. So you hold tight. I have
okay.
one. So I have one. So mine is procrastination is probably the most common one. Now I'm just gonna tell you, listen to me, people. The one, you if you running like a turtle and everybody else is running fast, and I know we can go to that story about the tortoise and the snail and all that stuff. That's wonderful. But in real life, because we being transparent tonight, that is not going to work in everyday life, right?
Mhm.
So procrastination, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna call today. Oh no, I didn't get a chance. I'm talking myself on some things. I'm not a procrastinator, but if I can be very honest, some things that I don't find like are so important, I will procrastinate on. Like I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it next day. Let me tell you something. Procrastination can become your worst enemy. So it is one of the most common ones. And here's the thing, right? It doesn't mean you're lazy. Because I'm not. Anybody that knows me know I'm not. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it. You gonna have to tell me no. Um, but procrastination isn't about being lazy, y'all. It's not. It's not about being lazy. A lot of times we procrastinate. I'm trying to look at all these different screens, so if I'll be all over the place. No, I'm trying to catch everybody where they at. But procrastination really is fear. Let's just be honest. I'm just being honest. We procrastinate because we are scared. Yeah. We are fearful of things. We procrastinate when it's time to move on to something new. You want to keep going to the same people that ain't growing, ain't moving, but we keep on going back to that same. Listen, it is, and knowing that you need to move on and do other things, and you slow to start new relationships that are good and solid, but you fast to go back to ones that are stale. So that comes to mind for me is procrastination, y'all. Procrastination needs to be taken out of your life when it comes to you achieving those things that you want to achieve in your life. What about you? Now you can go, girl. I had to say that first.
Well, I want to go on there. I think that's true, and also um when you was mentioning fear, fear consists of a lot of stuff, and it's transparent Tuesday. So again, y'all know me, and well, if you're new, you probably haven't heard this, but I can say for myself personally, like that fear consists of like fearing of failing, right? Feeling of being successful, right? So I had the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of getting it wrong. Oh, I do not like to be wrong. I do not like to get an answer wrong or question wrong. I'm better though now, but I'm just telling you how I was. Like I really had the fear of that. Um, and also like fear of even being seen. If anybody know me, I don't like stuff being broadcast so much, and it is good to get recognized for certain things and acknowledged, but I am one of those that I don't like to be seen a lot. Like I like to be in the background. Like you just tell me what to do, what needs to be done, I'll do it. Like I don't have to get the accolades right there, right? But ain't nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you do deserve to get your accolades and put in the work and stuff. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that. But as far as fear and how it consists with me and with self-sabotaging, that was one of my things. Like, oh no, I don't want to be seen. What if they think I'm doing too much, or what they think like I'm a know-it-all because I got in this, or because I speak a certain way, right? Just to get picked on, like, oh, you speak like, you talk like, anyways, like this at a certain school, right? So it was certain things that fear kind of consists of that will, I would say, that help um now know what I was doing, like being aware of how I was self sabotaging myself. But that was some ways. I just thought about it when you were talking about fear. I was like, yeah, that was me.
Fear, boy, I'm trying to tell y'all, fear will keep us from our golden eggs. I'm telling you, you have to look fear in his eyes and let it know, baby, you met your match. And do it sometimes even with the fear. I'm telling you, I've had to do it before, and I'm gonna move on, but I'm telling you, I've had to do things even when I was afraid. I still had to do it. And once I did, guess what? I accomplished that thing, or I was successful in that thing. So sometimes, guys, even if you're shaking a little bit in your boots or nervous, do it anyway. and watch and see what happens. So my thing is, even with listening to that fear and dealing with fear, you know, one thing for me that can be exhausting, y'all, is spending like 6 months worrying about something that would have taken 30 minutes to do. Have you ever been there?
Ooh,
like,
yes, let's talk about that.
You could have got that done within 30 minutes, but it took you 6 months to get there because every time you got close, what happened? You allow fear to become your logic. And so, oh no, we're not going to do that. Oh, that won't work because of this. Oh, that's not going to work this time. So you keep putting things off and putting things off and putting things off. And when you finally get there and do it, you realize, like, oh my God. And I'm speaking of myself on something I'm working on now. I could have been done with something, but I do a little bit here, a little bit there. Then I get distracted, got to do this, then I got to do this and got to do that. But then when I go and do something, I'm like, oh my God, I got through with that in like 20 minutes. Right?
That's how it happens too. Like, how many times y'all have we really like suffered like longer in our minds than we would have ever suffered in reality? Like, because of your mind, because of your psyche, right? Like, the things that's going on, you suffered longer than what you would have done in reality if you just would have took that step instead of self-sabotaging yourself.
Yep.
Like, that's
I
a
think
big one.
I think too, overthinking.
Oh yeah.
Overthinking.
Ooh,
That'd be Brittany.
I'm still working on it.
I
came a good way.
But a work in progress. That's what I was gonna say. I think you've done
it.
really well. But just overthinking, and I know it's, you know, some things are people personality, so I'm not oblivious to that. Some things are our personality, it's who we are. But if it's hindering you, we need to just take a look and say, okay, how do I work on that? And so, how do I get better at that? It don't mean you're gonna get better with overthinking overnight, right? But I just encourage us, if we are overthinkers, we've got to really, really, really work on that, because a lot of us call it being prepared when it really is you being trapped. Okay, so you're thinking you're being prepared because you've overthought it, but really it's trapping you because you overthought it so much that it just keeps going and going and going, and you're like, man, I'm overthinking this. I know I am. If you ever had taken a test, and Brittany shared this one time before, like, she overthinks it, and I have too. If you ever took those state tests or something, you're overthinking, like, this can't be the answer, it's too easy. Right? Oh, this can't be the answer, it's too easy. So you start overthinking. Well, they didn't use that word, so it must have meant this. And then you do it and you get it wrong because it was the very first thing you thought, right? So analyzing every possible outcome. I'm guilty of that sometimes. I'd be like, okay, if I do it this way, this will happen. If I do it this way, that'll happen. If I do it this way, that'll happen. Oh my gosh. And when you look at it, because I am an analyzer, I'm very detail oriented. And sometimes that can be good, and sometimes that could be a hindrance depending on what the situation is. Because sometimes we need a quick response, and sometimes we do need a more detailed look at something before we make a decision. But I find myself sometimes just taking a little too much time on some things, if I can just be honest. But we look at every possibility, every scenario, until we never move. You be so exhausted from overthinking everything that you're like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. I don't think it's the best time to do it. When actuality, whatever it is sitting there like, I'm right here waiting on you. I'm right here on the car lot waiting on you. I'm right here on this job waiting on you. Or I'm right here in your new entrepreneurship waiting on you. I'm just waiting on you to take the steps. But we have exhausted ourselves with overthinking. So I just, again, not to knock anyone that does it, but as Brittany has shared time and time again, she was that way. But she's come so far because she's more alert and aware of it, I think.
Yeah, I would say that. I still got a ways to go because I do, when you were saying analyzing, I do too. And y'all, this can't even go to like real life. I will look at a problem, and because I overthink, I'll be like, some things in life, y'all, can just be very simple. Simplicity at its finest. Me, it don't work that way, especially on tests. I'll be like, oh no, they trying to trick me. It can't be this easy because it was this easy. Like, nah. So then I'll go with another answer. Knowing good and well, I got that one. But somehow, somewhere in my mind, I'm going to make it end up being another one, knowing that it's wrong because I overthink. Yeah, y'all pray for me. But I don't do that no more on tests. I'll be like, whatever. If it's wrong, it's wrong, right? I haven't taken a test in a good minute, though. But back then, I really was really bad. So I just thought about that, like overthinking and analyzing. We do that in life sometimes. Like sometimes it can just be that simple. Like, it can just be that simple that you walked in the door, they liked you, boom, the job is yours. Not that you got to do this or go through like 2 to 3 interviews, then meet with this person, get on virtual or go inside the place in person and then get the job. Sometimes it could just be that y'all connected and it's like, you know what?
Yep.
I see something in you.
Yep.
I like you. When can you start? It can be that simple. So don't overcomplicate things. If I can't tell anybody that, again, I'm still working on some stuff when it comes to overthinking, but that can help out. I hope it helps, because yeah. But also, at some point in time, thinking can become avoidance, right? Sometimes when you think about something, you like, what, like you put that blocker there. Like, you want to, but you just, like you said, you just avoid it. You push it away. Be like, you know what? I think I'll come to this next go around. So I think that's one. You had 2 good ones: procrastination and overthinking.
Yeah.
So with that, again, it's Transparent Tuesday. Y'all might not say y'all have, but I'm gonna speak for me. I think one big one that can be relatable is negative self-talk. I think that one is huge, and it's the way that we speak to ourselves. And I know we don't like saying bullying. I have to be careful with my words because of TikTok, but some people have been bullying themselves for years. Like, no one else has been bullying you. You've really been bullying yourself. And it's always with how you talk to yourself. Like, bullying don't have to always be physical. It can be verbal, the things that you say, right? And even with abuse, it don't have to be physical abuse all the time. Like, verbal abuse is the thing. Emotional abuse is the thing. So I just thought about that. Like, that's a big one with negative self-talk.
Yeah. So let me ask you, would you talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself?
Nope. I wouldn't. Probably not. Like, imagine telling your friend, like, oh, you not smart enough. Girl, boy, you ain't good enough, right? Like, nobody like you. Girl, go somewhere. Like, right? Like, oh, you gon' fail. Like, or why even try? You might as well just give up. I would never tell my friends that. And especially my best friends. Like, I'm telling y'all, my best friends are my family. They are like my sisters, right? So I have a guy best friend, but my girls, they're really like my sisters. Those are my family. So I dare not tell them anything like that. If anything, I'm going to encourage them. So that's a good point. Like, negative self-talk. You're talking to yourself and bullying yourself, but would you even do that to others?
Right.
So if you won't do that to others, then why don't you give yourself that same compassion and grace as if that's you?
Yeah.
Look at yourself in the mirror.
Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself. A lot of people say, what would God do? Ask yourself, what would you do? If this was someone coming to you and saying, I got this dream, I want to do X, Y, Z, or I want to start a new business, what would you tell them? And maybe reverse it to yourself and listen to what you would tell them. If this was
a true friend, though, because sometimes you can have dreams and they be like, girl, yeah, you got some of them so-called friends that'll sit in the pit with you, be like, oh, yeah, girl, I wouldn't try that because
I'm talking about the tried and true.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the tried and the true.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Sometimes you're your own bully. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That is the truth. So, I would say, with what you were saying with that, is just try that sometimes. And I know, I'll tell you now, I talk to myself all the time, and I know people like, that ain't good. Yes, it is. Because if I say it to myself, it ain't going nowhere. It's just with me and the man upstairs. So I don't have to worry about anybody changing anything. So, yes, I will process things to myself. And it's nothing wrong with me.
Right. If it's out loud, that's okay.
Yeah,
because I do the same thing.
Yeah, because
like,
sometimes it's good to think out loud. Like, let me think about this again. If I say this. So I just encourage those that, would do things like that, like bullying yourself. Look in the mirror and say, what would I be saying if Brittany asked me this? Would I tell her she ain't good enough? Would I do this? Or would I say to her, girl, you got this? Why you don't think you got this? You can do this. All they going to do is say no. All they can do is say no. And no would put you right back where you're already at, right at the starting point. So it's not like it's going to stop anything from happening, hey sis, but it is going to, it just may delay it, but it won't, it's not a denial. Anyway, at the end of the day, I just wanted to say that. But yeah, I think that, you have to tell people, you have to tell people or tell yourself what you would say to somebody else. That's a way to get rid of that self-bullying.
Yeah.
Because we can beat ourselves up, y'all, for real, because of what people thinking or judgment or something like that, like I said earlier. We can really beat our own selves up.
Or your perception of you thinking that they think that, and you really don't even know them, but because of yourself, right? You think you portraying that. That's what you really think, but you're trying to think other people. So I came across a few
Yeah.
people that deal with that. So that's one too. But I want to ask y'all, why do we do this? This is a question for real. And y'all join community. Like, why do we do this? Why do we self sabotage? Like, I want to dig a little deeper in it, right? Like, why do we do that to ourselves, right? And I think a lot of time, and again, this just opinions. We helping each other grow through what we go through. So if you have a difference of opinion, or even if you agree, put it in the chat. Let me know, because I gotta grow too. We growing together, right? But I think something the reason why we do this maybe is because a lot of people want to be protected, right? Like, you want to protect yourself, and protection is important, right? You want to have a safe space. You want to have that safety net, right? And we talked about that because sometimes that's not always good. And sometimes, y'all, protection can be a limitation. It really can become limitation. What you thought was, saving you might be the very thing that's hurting you and killing you. And I had to learn that the hard way. And I'm not going to say what's the hard way. I learned that. I'm never going to say what's the hard way. I learned that so I can, and I got aware of it. So I wouldn't say what's the hard way, but I got to be self-aware of that. But yeah, sometimes you trying to, be protected, or you thinking you protecting yourself, and really you just limiting yourself.
Yeah.
What you think?
And I think too, maybe you were rejected before. Nobody likes rejection.
No.
I don't think nobody raised their hand and say, "Reject me, please." I don't think nobody does nothing like that, right?
Hey, Mama Lisa.
So I can, just reflect real quick, like a pickup basketball game. When I was growing up, you wanted to be chosen on volleyball game. You don't want nobody not to pick you, right? So I can't say that anybody wants to be rejected, but maybe that's what it was, right? Why we self-sabotage ourselves. Maybe you were rejected before, and you don't want to be rejected again, so you're putting it in your mind that they're not going to like me. They're not going to want me on their team. They're not going to want me to, get this business, or whatever the case may be. So now here you go. You're all afraid again. You're all over again. It's that vicious cycle we find ourselves in. It could be maybe you failed once. Man, I tried that one time and I failed. I don't want to do it again. But failure is part of your success. I'm just going to be honest. You got to know that you will fail in this thing called life. But if you get back up, that's what matters. Not about how many times you fall or fail, but can you get back up from that and learn from that failure and move on? Yeah. Maybe, because if you don't and you've dealt with failure before, it'll make you not want to start again. Yeah. It'll make you feel like, nope, I ain't doing that again. I tried it already. It didn't work. That didn't work. But if you take what you've learned from that failure and you go back at that thing again, but you learn from those failures, so now you know what not to do and what to do, I guarantee you'll have a different outcome. So now, because you failed once, now you may be feeling like, thank you so kindly. I'm glad. Sorry, y'all. I do apologize.
So why you take a sip? Since I told the chat to comment, as long as you don't leave your drink. What's that? Fear, unhealed trauma, and oftentimes we don't know what normal is because we be so used to dysfunction. And that is so true. So true.
It's so true.
You end up becoming functional in your dysfunction.
Yes.
It's kind of like alcoholics, right? It's a different from an alcoholic than a functional alcoholic. Like, you're still dysfunction there, right? It's still an addict there, but some way, somehow, it ends up, it's something that's dysfunctional, but end up becoming functional for them. So I just talk about that. That's a good one. Yep. Opinions of people can cause us to self-sabotage as well. Oh, yeah, feeling unworthy, not good enough. For sure. For sure.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much. And then I think, too, like, maybe, we see, maybe someone made you feel small, right? Maybe somebody made you feel like you were nothing. I know growing up, you would hear people sometimes tell people, you're going to be just like your dad. You're going to be just like your mom. You're not going to amount to anything. You're going to, you hear people say things like that. And I'm telling people, it stays in your children's mindset, even when they're growing up. I think, like, sometimes, it can truly cause people to self-sabotage themselves because of what they heard, right? Or because somebody made you feel like you were nothing. Like, you don't belong at this table. You don't belong at this table,
Yeah.
right? So now, because people made you feel so small and made you feel like it was nothing, now that you have accomplishing things or something's happening, you are afraid to shine because you were like, because they told me I wouldn't be, so I'm just gonna sit right here. But no, honey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And if you got a problem with the brightness, you better put your shades on because I'm not dulling my light for no one. And that's how you gotta be. Like, even when someone has done that to you, rise above that and know that you have a right to shine as well. So,
And I learned something. Shout out to Prophet Bruce because he's the one who talked about this. I ain't gonna say something that I don't take credit for something I ain't say, but it was very interesting with this little light of mine. He was talking about the little part. Because sometimes, who told you that the light was little? Sometimes you can have the biggest light, the light that will shine so bright than anybody else. Who told you that it was little? And sometimes I think when you was talking about that, people make us feel like that, like, oh, it's so, what you saying, like kind of condense you down to something like, you know it's big, but they'll make you feel like you said small. So when you said that, I just thought about the shout out to him. I was like, you know what?
That's good.
We always used to
I think
sing
it's a
that.
little song, and a lot of stuff is tradition. So it's a little song, it's a little light of mine. But I like that though. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that
I just thought about that when you said that because it had gave me a thing like
That
to
was
think about.
good.
Oh,
That was good.
okay, sorry, I went off. But well, just when you said that, I just thought about that. But also we had talked about the wounded psyche. I think Prophet Will was on that one, wasn't he? Wounded psyche.
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so. We talked about the wounded psyche. If y'all haven't checked that one out, go back and check out that segment on it. It was really good. But also when you look at it for this point for self-sabotaging, what if I told you like the wound wasn't the problem? And not to say that it's not. So this is something totally different. Just listen, right? What if the problem is that we build our lives around the wound instead of actually dealing with the actual wound and nursing the wound? You know how like you put like the Band-Aid on your wound and inside, you know, it can heal. But then sometimes, as grandma used to say, you got to take that Band-Aid off and let it breathe, let it get air and heal naturally, or it's blue will start on you, and it's born. That's how my grandma used to do. But I just thought about that. Like sometimes what if the wound wasn't a problem? What if it's that you can't even go straight to it? You just built something around it. And because you built something around it, you can't actually deal with that. And you self-sabotage yourself because you don't want to make yourself aware that, hey, I have a wound, whatever that wound may be. As I think it's like trauma, childhood trauma, relationships, right? Friendships, all that. So I just thought about that. Like sometimes we do self-sabotage ourselves by building around the wound. So yeah, that was just my little thing.
That's awesome. And that's a good thought provoking
Yeah.
question. What if it wasn't the wound? Interesting. I like that. The wound is not the problem. That's the whole word.
I was just about to say maybe you should say a word on that.
That's Karen Wood, Prophet Woods got that. The wound is not the problem. That's a whole word. All right. Yes, it is.
Hey,
yes, it is.
Brenda.
Yeah. Hey, sis. But yeah, it is. It is a whole word. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Who want to take it? Apostle
Oh,
Mama.
me and Apostle wrestle on it. He take it on the East Coast, West Coast. I take it on the East.
So if y'all want to, y'all can share a personal moment. If you know, we being transparent, right? So if you want to in the chat, again, it could help anyone that's part of the community, even me, or my partner here. Like, what's a way that you, and I'm gonna ask you too, like, what's a way that you've gotten in your own way? If you can think about something. I know I put it on the spot, but what's the way that you've gotten in your own way? And then also for the ones that's listening, and engaging, if y'all want to, you can share a moment too, like a time that you've gotten in your own way.
So
and kind of talk about like what happened, what fear, if there was fear underneath it, and what lesson came from it. I think I'm talking to my mic. I might not.
So I will, you know, as others are maybe putting it in the chat, I'll talk about my personal experience, and I'll talk about me entering into ministry. And as a woman who grew up under the tradition mindset of women should not be preaching God's word, I ran a long time from the call. And even though I had visitations, even though I know I had visions and things of that nature, just different true prophets tell me what I already either dreamt and or knew that was told to me by God. I really blocked that out and was like, nope. And I'll tell you why, because here go that little small person. All right. Um, who am I as a woman to do that? I can't. Because I'm a woman. Because Brother Paul, which I would encourage anybody to go read for yourself and understand the entire context of what was going on and what we ran with. But anyway, I really self doubted myself. Like there is no way I'm doing that. I'm gonna go to hell. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. And then the very ones that I would expect to confirm and uplift me and say, yes, Brenda, you can do it. XYZ were the very ones that doubted me. Were the very ones that told me, nope, that is no, there ain't no way in the world he told you that, da 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 da. So I self doubted myself, and I would not even think about it, no matter what. But then I got that visit that let me know, like, I'm not gonna tell you again. You're out of obedience. And I went to a church. No one knew me, and I mean, I knew my friend who invited me, but I didn't know any of them people. And it was a lot of folk, and I was called out in the midst of all those folk and was told exactly what I was already told in my prayer closet. And I knew then that I better listen. And so I decided that regardless what anybody thought, regardless of knowing that I was going to get backlash from my family, who is very rooted and deep into that, that I was going to do it anyway. I was going to do it anyway. And if I got in trouble, then I got in trouble doing what I thought was best, which is just motivating people, encouraging people, helping them to understand how they can get from this point to this point and just serving God and stuff. So how could that be bad and make me be dishonored in God's light? And so I just chose to stop worrying about what others thought, because I did. I really, really was concerned about what people thought. And I just stepped out there and did it. And I've never looked back. And to this day, I have no regrets. None. So I just think so that's my story of self-sabotaging myself, is thinking about what are they gonna think, what's my family gonna say. They told me we weren't supposed to do this. I've been walking around with the same feeling, same unction. But then I just decided to throw all that out and walk straight into what I believed. And so
what lesson did you learn?
Well, to not worry about what others thought and to be obedient to what God was telling me. Obedience is greater than anything else. And so I learned that I have to take and be obedient to myself, and not and be mostly obedient to God, and not worry about what others are going to think. Because people are going to think what they want to think anyway. I don't care what you do. Yeah. They're going to think what they want to think. So I just learned that I'm not going to worry about what other people say when it comes to my life and what I'm supposed to be doing, and just step out there.
Only because I was about to tell mine, but see, we can relate. Wendy Brown. So it says, my shyness for years kept me from doing a lot of things in my younger years. I missed out on a lot of things. That I was gonna say that about me. Like, if you can't, if you know me or knew me, I came a long way, but there's still some shyness to me on certain things. Or I guess I would even say is don't be shy. Sometimes self-doubting. But I used to be real quiet. I would say my mom and my brother, they are the social butterflies. And I'll be like, man, I wish I could just be like that. But as I tell everybody, once you get to know me and I get comfortable, it's like, dang, girl, you don't ever shut up. You talk too fast. Take a breath, right? I'm like that. But back then, though, like, I came a long way. Even, like, in my profession, I know you're like, well, how can you talk to people? I'm telling you, like, that's how I know. And I can relate to some people because I be very shy. Like, I'm very close. I'm going to observe you. I'm still like that. I'm not going to just open up to you, right? And that was something that kind of hindered me from building relationships and even certain positions and jobs. So when you said that, I was like, I was going to talk about that because of my shyness. I can know something, right? And even in school, I would know the answer. But I'm too shy. I don't want to raise my hand. I don't want to be the one, again, to think they know it all. So I'll be like, no. I'll let somebody else answer, and then they get it wrong, and I'll be like, well, duh, it was this, right? But I was so shy. And even in the workplace, if I have an idea, I'll be like, well, I don't want my boss thinking I'm trying to do their job, but I think if we did it this way, it could help us better, right? And it could serve the community and the members better. But I kept quiet, right? But now it's not like that. But I will say back then, and I feared of that. I feared of getting in trouble, right? Or even at classes, I'm gonna tell you now, like even getting picked on, right? Because back then, buddy, if you knew my story, it was tough from the complexion, okay, for the dark skinned girls out there. And I ain't doing with colorism. I'm just telling the truth from my experience on how it was back then, just with my pigmentation. And then with my hair, I had long hair, right, thick hair. It's still like that, but it was longer. But just certain things that would just be nitpicking on certain stuff. So I was always the shy one. I didn't want people to think that I was all that. I didn't want to think that I was better, so I just kept myself muted. Until now, as you can see, it's definitely different. But I would say that's something that I dealt with, that I had to grow from and had fear of. And so my lesson learned is to be confident in yourself, right? To use your voice. If anybody hear me, like sometimes it is good to be quiet. Sometimes silence can be like a sharpened sword. Like no answer, no response is a response. But sometimes, and that's why I tell people, for the shy ones, open your mouth. Those shy ones are the ones that you really got to watch out, because they have some force and some power with them. Yep. They just got to get that power to open up some. So that will be my Transparent Tuesday for today.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that shyness it has its place, right? I think it has its place. So, but I want to tell you something, right? Nobody feels fully ready. Did y'all know that? I hear people say, I'm ready. But do you feel really ready? Like when you take on something new, or you're getting ready to start your own business, do you feel like fully ready? Or do you have that little apprehension, like, what if this? So does anybody feel that? Or, or is it, is it something that we set ourselves up for if we say, I'm fully ready, right? But nobody, regardless of my answer for you, ain't nobody fully, right? Growth happens before confidence. I'm going to tell you that. Growth is going to happen before the confidence. Once you go doing something, like you have the skills and the knowledge, like I said before, but once you do it, man, you get like a new job, right? Like I have no idea about the furniture, but I've learned so much in my growth in these 6 months that I feel confident with certain stuff. Okay. Like I can tell you right now how this is made and what all goes into it. I feel confident. But I am not going to lie to you and tell you I felt fully ready when I started this job, because it is totally night and day from what I know. I know about blood pressure and oxygen levels and all that stuff. But furniture, no, that's not me. So it doesn't happen, after it. Growth has got to happen before, right? People think confidence comes first. It doesn't. I know, again, to us realist people, it doesn't. we can be confident in this very thing, that whatever God has begun, He will. He is perfect to perform it into the time, and I get that. But here's the thing: I didn't say God. I said you. You and your confidence gets in there when that growth happens. Because now, boy, you can show the next person. Now you 6 months in, a year into the job, and here comes the next Brenda that is shaking. Oh, I hope I can do a good job. And did it. Now your confidence is there because you were there. Now you can share your life experience with them of how it was when you started, and what things you did, and be able to share with them so that they can build their confidence. But guess what? They're growing in what you grew through, right? So you're helping them grow as well. So it doesn't come first. I'm going to tell you that now. People may agree and disagree. I think that people think the confidence comes first, but it really is action comes first, because it's going to take you getting off the couch, getting that, getting off the couch, getting that list written down, write that vision, getting that procrastination out, getting the overthinking out, those things that we talked about, all those self-sabotaging things that can take place. You got to get all of that out, right? And once you get that and you get that action, buddy, action now, because I'm ready. Like being on the team, you pump your team up. Let's go. We got this. We can do this. You have made everybody feel like they can do it. Motivational speakers, I can do it. I can motivate you to do a lot of stuff. Boy, you leave, you'll be like, yes, I can conquer the world. That's how it's supposed to be, right? When we are going through our own life, action has to come first, and then confidence will follow. Confidence will follow evidence, right? So you're gonna get that confidence, but it'll follow evidence of you making that thing go to work, making it happen, and then taking that action to get everything done that you need to get done, right? Keep pushing at it, keep pulling. Nothing comes overnight, and nothing worth having is going. I'm telling you now, don't let nobody lie to you. Nothing worth having anything worth having is worth fighting for, and I mean that. Even for all the no's, get ready for a yes. But you gotta keep going. Don't give up on your dreams and your ambitions just because you keep getting no's. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep changing. Okay, that didn't work. Maybe I'll go about it this way. Keep doing it, because action is how it's going to come first. And through that, your confidence is going to be built. And after confidence follows evidence. You hear me? Action, confidence, evidence. Believe it, perceive it, receive it. That's how I live. Believe it, perceive yourself with it, and receive it. That if you can do those things, you will begin to see things happening. But we sometimes get stuck in that perceiving it.
Yeah. So. And it makes me think about this, just being relatable, because I think about the little kiddos. But I mean, adults do it too, because I have stuff. But it's like the checklist. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but it's because of how I am anyways. I have to have a checklist on certain things, because to me, when I see myself actually doing it and checking it off, I feel better. Even if my goal on my checklist has like 10, 15 boxes, me just checking off that one, okay, I'm feeling confidence, like I'm one step, even closer to the 15. Then as I keep on checking off the boxes, I get even more confidence. I'm even more happy, right? And so I think about that too when we do the little sticker exercise, when you get the kids to do the stickers and put the stickers on for what they have accomplished or what they've done for chores. It's the reason, because the action that they're doing, the action you put in it builds the confidence. And eventually you have so much confidence that it's just like a natural routine. So when you said that about the action, it just made me think about kind of with the little kids and stuff, the little checklist. Devon.
Oh, hey, Devon. But yeah, that is so true. And it is good to have that list, guys, as long as you don't let that list overwhelm you.
Oh, yeah.
Or disappoint you, because you be like, man, I ain't do one. No, I ain't get. Man, I ain't got but 2 things done. But what did it take to get those 2 things done? Did you come from point A to point B? Did you learn something? Did you grow? So it's ways to look at that. But I do like that checklist. Check it off. But just don't become overwhelmed with it. Don't let it make you. Don't let the checklist tell you whether you are failing or passing at something. That's the only thing that I would look at. Okay, Pastor Wood says, I'm just say this. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm not good with this stuff, but I'm sorry. I'm going to just say this. That hurt little boy in me. I'm going to have to pick it up. Because I want to read it. One of the community members, our Prophetess Woods, who is very dear to us, he said, I'm going to just say this. That hurt little boy in me, due to my childhood experience in the foster care system, causes me to oftentimes relive the rejection, the pain, the hurt, the abandonment. And that hurt little boy becomes the victim again by his own mind. This is what I've learned in the moment, the voids I have and the things I filled them with. When I took all the fillers away, I then realized the depths of that emptiness is how much God I need. Church or position can be a void filler or a distraction to make you think you're okay. But when you don't have those things, then ask, who are you? The you no one sees is the real you. And that's the you the Almighty wants to fill up to the point of overflow. That is good. And thank you for being transparent.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for being transparent because I know that's going to help some people.
Yeah.
Because like I said in the beginning, we have those that's going to talk, and then we have those that not comfortable, um, or just an introvert, right? And we respect everybody on here how you choose,
Mm-hmm.
but I love when people share things like that because
Yeah.
it's so needed, and that's why, like Brittany said, we took a shift in things that we're talking about. We're being more to the real now. Let's talk about some real life stuff that's happening out there. And I think we started a week before last. It wasn't on last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so good. So thank you, Prophetess Woods, for sharing that. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much.
Yeah.
Because that is so true.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
I'm telling you, childhood stuff, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
got to work at it every day
Mm-hmm.
because it can be self sabotaging.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can.
That's a good topic too. That's one
Yeah.
that's written down. I've been trying to get people on here, but then life be happening, so we have to reschedule. But that was one going with the childhood trauma. That'll be
Yeah.
a good panel right there for different perspectives and things. But that was good. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think we are ready, and we really are not ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man. That's true, sis. That's so true. Yep.
And you were talking about confidence.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you can become confident by doing the thing and not by, waiting to feel ready for the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can do that. Like, we don't want to, you know how they say, like, well, not they, but the word say, um, work without faith is dead. So
Mhm.
it's like, you know, you gotta actually put the work to it. You gotta actually do it.
Right.
Not just waiting to feel like, okay, I'm ready for the thing. Okay, that's nice that you're ready for it, but what you gonna do about it? What you
Yep.
gonna do to get the thing that you're really ready for?
Right.
And sometimes, that resonates with me in certain
Yeah.
things too.
Where's
But
your action?
yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when you thought about that and said confidence, I just
Yeah.
want to throw that in.
Yeah.
So, how to grow through it, right? This one hit home today. Thank you for come the spirit of sabotage. All right now.
All
Hey,
right.
we
Yes,
growing through
indeed.
what we going through together.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
Together. Amen.
And then it's also like how to grow through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we grow through this? And I want us to get honest. And if
Yeah.
again, if you guys have some ways that you feel like we can grow through this, let me know. Because again, we gotta grow too. So
Mhm.
we're always open to hear
Yeah.
and what you're sharing. But I think one step would be again just getting honest. Like actually get honest with yourself. Like
Yeah.
right, like where am I getting in my way of? Like you
Yeah.
have to ask yourself that. Like the key thing is first, and we talked about this being self-aware. You gotta have awareness because if you don't have awareness, there's no point. You don't even know that there's something there
Right.
that you need to work on or evolve in because you don't know. So you're gonna keep doing the same thing. It's like a blind eye. So I think step one would be just to get honest with yourself in order to grow through it.
Mhm.
And know that, not where somebody else is. Like, don't worry about like her. I know people think this is my mama, this is my best friend. I love her. She my ride or die. I'm her ride or die. But we are different people, right? I can't compare myself to her. Lord knows, even from the mothering part, be like, how did you do this? Like, I just wish I had a fraction of what you did, right? Like, I'll be so tired. You were just energetic. But that because that was her and it's a different time. But I can't go off of what she does, right? I got or where she's at. I gotta know where I am, right? Like, what is it from me? Where am I at, right? So ask yourself, right? Are you getting in your own way? Where
Right.
are you? Don't worry about where somebody else is, right? Worry about yourself.
Yep.
Step two, I would say maybe like noticing the pattern.
Mhm.
And I guess you can help me on that because when I'm talking about like noticing the pattern,
Yeah.
kind of
Like,
like
so it's like repeating itself.
yeah, I
Right.
was about to say like what's
Like
going on in the cycle.
the again the vicious cycle that we find ourselves in, and Prophetess Woods alluded to what he was experiencing, which is a cycle
Yeah.
that he's going through. Right. Certain things in life, certain things trigger that cycle to start back. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's like what's repeating. That's when you look at the pattern. Like what's repeating. That becoming self-aware. Ask yourself those questions. What's repeating?
Yeah.
Just like you said with
Hey, Auntie.
being honest, right? You got to be honest, because I'll tell anybody that's dealing with anything, any addiction, anything that you're processing. You got to first know that there is a problem, right? That's self-awareness, like you were saying. You got to know there is a problem. You got to be able to talk to yourself about what patterns you're seeing. That's repeating. What's repeating itself? Why do I find myself back at this spot again? What is it that I keep allowing to happen to get me back at this spot? Or what is the event, or whatever is the smell, or whatever it is that we're going through? What triggers us to get back to that spot, to that repeating cycle? You got to figure that out. You got to get to the root of that. If you're wanting to ever be healed and delivered and set free, and stop sabotaging, those S's get me. Stop self-sabotaging yourself. Good gracious. And what excuses keep showing up? What excuses are you making to allow yourself to keep going back through that? What excuses are you making? Right? Well, he said this, and so I said it was okay. Or she did X, Y, Z, or they did this on the job, so I'm going to keep whatever it is. What excuse are you allowing to keep showing up? Or them people making excuses why they coming back, or whatever situation is.
Or relationships when he didn't mean to hit me. Right. He just was upset that he really do love me. Then he knocked you upside their head again. Or she, because it's some people, she knocked you upside their head again. Right, because it is on both sides here lately, even more. But anyway, or like what fear keeps talking. Right? Earlier I said about fear disguising itself as logic, right? Fear disguising itself as logic. You know what fear is setting in? What fear? You know what fear keeps talking to you? What is that fear that's talking to you? What's making you self-sabotage yourself and stop doing things you need to do, or get over, or get I don't like saying get over, but be able to deal with life better with what's being handed to you, right? Because sometimes people tell people, get over that. That's not the right thing to say. It's just not the right thing to say, and I've learned that. But anyway, I would say that, Brittany, when you're asking me what things, those are things that I would tell you to take a look at. Ask yourself those questions. How did I get here? That's good.
I think just notice the patterns that are being presented to you every time you find yourself getting ready to self-sabotage yourself. And Sister Britta had said something too earlier, and she said, my mistake is not thinking with my head, but thinking with my heart, and not taking time to pray and wait on the answer from the Lord. Oh yeah,
my God.
Oh yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Sister Brenda, because it is so true. I know I used to be guilty of that with some stuff, man. Yeah, my heart would still do.
Yeah, I ain't about to say lie. It still does.
I ain't gonna. It still do, man. Get me in trouble sometimes. I'll be like, why did I do that? God ain't even told me to do that. He ain't told me to do that, and here I go, acting like I've been assigned to that person, and that wasn't even my assignment. So thank you for sharing. Pastor Wood says accountability, community, commitment, total transparency, honesty. And allow yourself to be loved and know you are enough. I underlined it 5 times. Open up, talk. Yes, talk.
Now you gotta finish that. The whole thing. Open up, talk, and stop suppressing or shielding the wound or trauma. Get help. That is one. I was trying to get them for mental health awareness.
My goodness.
But she's taking her test. But I so want to talk about between the couch and the altar.
Yes,
I promise we're going to have it, and it's going to be so good, because so many times, and these are licensed therapists, and they're actually spiritual too, but they do therapy, and it's always been this battle with, and we talked about this before, you don't need to talk to nobody. All you need to talk to is the Lord, right? And my thing is, that is true, and that's all right. But if that was that easy, then why are you still going through the same thing? If you say he's not a man that can lie, right? He's not a liar. You talk to him, you ask him things, he's going to show up. Maybe not when you want him, but he'll be there on time. I get that. But you got to open up and communicate. And I always get people with this. If you say God is the mind regulator, just give it all to him. Well, why do you go to the hospital? And this is my honest opinion, so I can't wait till we talk about that, because if he's a healer, and you believe in him, well, what's the difference in going to a psychologist and you going to a doctor to perform on you? So that's just something that I've always been a part of. So I can't wait. Oh, she joined too, the one that's gonna be coming. Hey, Tosh. So I can't wait. I'm getting them on book. I think was it July, Tosh? Did we say July? Because I think June was it was supposed to be May. So I think it's July, between the altar and the couch. So that's gonna be good. That was really, really good.
Yeah.
Apostle Wood. So I gotta get them back on board, but she ain't respond yet. But I think it is in July. I think one is done with her. Dissertation in June. So that was really good. And then also with Sister Brenda, I didn't mean to no, you read hers, but I was just saying thank you for opening up, because it's not easy for people to open up, and the fact that you know what your mistake was, right, and that you can learn from it, because as you see me and Mama resonate with it still to this day, and it's still a progress, right? So thank you for opening up, sharing too. I meant to comment on that too when Mama had talked about it. Between the couch and the altar. My God, I love it. Please let me know when you do this one, because I'm signed up. Sure will. I sure will. I'm excited for that.
I am too. I think it's needed, because it's such a misconception. It's such a misconception, and we're wondering why things are happening. We got a misconception. But anyway, we're gonna let the licensed folk talk about all the good stuff. But anyway,
the next step was we did 1, 2, and 3. What was my third one? Challenging the story, right? And this is like asking yourself, like, honestly, like, is this actually true? Because for some things you can really make up in your mind, or someone that you think is fact is really far from it. It's not factual at all. So you got to ask yourself, when it comes to self-sabotaging, challenge that story. Is this really actually true? They said this about me. Okay, well, I know me, but is this true? They said I did this. Look at the story. Did you really do that? Is it fact? Is it actually true? So I think that's one thing. Or is this something I've been telling myself for years, right? Challenge yourself on that story. Have you been telling yourself this stuff for so many years? And then also, I guess it'll be like the fourth one, because it kind of goes in with it. Like, take one small step. It's okay to take one small step.
Yeah, not 10.
Right.
Not 10. Sometimes we can want to take 10 steps when you need to take one. One phone call. One application. One conversation, y'all. One walk. One prayer. One therapy appointment. It's okay. Okay? The Lord is not going to think you abandoned him for going to talk to a therapist. Anyway, one therapy appointment. One journal entry. Lord, I'm saying journal, y'all. One journal entry.
Well, your brain is right. You had it.
But yeah, journal. Leave it alone. One journal entry. Writing that thing, y'all. Sometimes some people got different strategies. Some people can write out what they're feeling, and you feel so good and relieved when you do it.
Because some of them be scared. I get it. It's a good exercise, because for the ones that are shy or scared to really, you still work on it to open up before at that moment. If you're scared to really go to that person, communicate with them, right? And have like assertive, because it's different from assertive and aggressive communication. But write it out. If this made you feel this way, even my friend, she wanted to get on her child because she had did something and said something that wasn't right to somebody else in school, but the little girl kept disrupting the class, and it made her mad. And I said, well, don't get upset with her and get her in trouble, because that's how she felt. Ask them, can you give her a journal and let her write down, like, anytime the girl do something disrupt the class, because it's been known that she does that a lot. Get her a little journal, let her teacher know, and when every time she disrupt the class, I don't care if she whatever she's saying, feel with that little girl, that is her private journal. Let her write it down. So I will always encourage journal entry. When you too afraid or some things may not be right, write it down in that journal. It's okay.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think take a moment, right?
Yeah.
And while we go into reflection, because we wrapping up, but I would say a reflection, right? Take a reflection moment. I think that you gotta take a moment, right? Think about this question: what is one area in your life where your actions aren't matching your goals? I'll say it again. I want you to think about that. What area in my life, right, What area in my life are my actions not matching my goals? What are you saying you won't? Right? That your habits are fighting against.
Oh, that's good. Oh, listen,
Y'all hear? Like, I want you just to think about that. What are you saying you won't that your habits are fighting against? Right? I think, what, you want me to repeat that? Oh.
So I was looking at the comment. I was trying to.
So I was saying, what area in your life
Mm-hmm.
do you find your actions not aligning or matching your goals? Yeah. But not matching your goals. Because that is something to ponder on. That's why I paused and kind of was just thinking about, even for myself, you got to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then you got to think about what habits, because only you know some of your habits. Everybody don't know all your habits. What habits do you have that are fighting against, that you know you're fighting against, that is causing you to keep self-sabotaging yourself? SSS is just too much, but yeah. But I would just, don't be laughing. I would just ask myself those questions, y'all, and just think about it. Just ponder on that. Just ponder on that. I think it's worth thinking about it, taking a pause. And so, what would happen, right? If you made just one, I ain't saying 10, but if you just made one different choice this week, what would happen? If you just made just one, try to look at everybody on these different screens, one. If you just made one different choice this week, what would it be? What would it be? So just something to truly think about, y'all, as we do some reflecting in our closing. So I think if there's one, and we will wrap it up. So I won't. Brittany's gonna put that in there, all the platforms. Sometimes she be forgetting. I had to.
Oh, that's a book. My struggle has always. Oh man. My struggle has always been dealing with the man, the minister, and his ministry. That's a book.
Yeah.
It's a word in it. That's a book.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Catchy.
Brenda said, I had to go. So another community member, Brenda shared, she said, I had to go through therapy this past winter. I was in deep, dark depression, but with therapy and my favor and my Father God, I am a overcomer. I have my joy back. I have my peace back. I have my light back. I have my light back on, and it's all because of the Lord. So yes, therapy is needed.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that, and
that's
thank
awesome.
you so much.
I'm
Brenda.
proud of you. That's
awesome. Yeah. I'm telling you, sometimes you gotta release it. I'm telling you, sometimes we keep things bottled up inside of our, and I know we're closing, but I'm just gonna say this based on what she's saying. Sometimes, y'all, because of pride, don't want nobody to judge you, don't this, do that, we tend to keep things bottled up inside that we really want to release. But that's why I say some things is therapeutic and you need to go to therapy, because this person don't know you from Adam's apple. I'm going to sit on your couch and I'm going to let it out. I ain't got to worry about who feelings I'm going to hurt, who going to not like what I'm saying, who going to like what I'm saying. I get to tell it like it is without trying to sugarcoat it. Yeah. Right?
Who don't know somebody and they go tell somebody in town, the whole town.
Exactly. Tell the whole town, the whole community, the whole state know, the whole United States will know. But I'm telling you, this is, anyway. We're going to talk about that in another month or so. But oh my goodness, I get so excited about that because I love especially when the Christian folk wake up. Yeah. Wake up and go get some help. Anyway, so thank you, Sister Brenda. I get fired up about that stuff because, man, woo-wee. Anyway, so in our closing, there's one thing when I think about everything we talked about today, is awareness. I want y'all to know that awareness. That is the key. You'll hear
Yeah.
that even when you talk to them. You got to be aware that there's a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awareness is the first step
Mm-hmm.
toward change. Because you got to be aware that I need to fix something, right? And you don't have to be ashamed. And you
No.
don't have to shame yourself
Nope.
because of what you are aware of that needs to be changed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's how you grow through
That's
it.
how you
Because
grow
it's
through it,
self-sabotage.
y'all. Don't
Mm-hmm.
beat yourself up because you got some things that need to be worked on.
Yep.
Don't beat yourself up. Don't judge yourself. Like Brittany said, stop
Mm-hmm.
looking through the lens of somebody else and put your own lens on. Stay in your
Yeah.
house, fix your house.
Don't judge yourself. Don't
Don't
bully
judge
yourself.
yourself. Don't bully yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just notice. That's all. Just
Yep.
take notice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awareness creates opportunity.
Yes.
It does. It does.
It really does.
Awareness creates opportunity, y'all. Opportunity for you to grow. Opportunity for you to grow, and then growth creates transformation.
Mm-hmm.
See how that works?
Mm-hmm.
So that is my 2 cents to y'all.
That's
I leave
good.
is please be aware. Please be aware.
Yep. And as I like to do a little affirmation or encouragement, I'm going to use it here. Just remember, I sound so country that remember. Just remember that you are not your mistakes, right? And you are not your fears. You are not your patterns, right? You are a person who is learning. You are a person who is healing. And I'm going to always say this word because it's one of my favorite words that I always have to remember. You are a person who is becoming. And sometimes the biggest breakthrough comes when you stop fighting yourself. And I'm telling y'all because I had to tell me, so I'm just encouraging as I'll tell y'all, like I try not to tell you anything I haven't done or that kind of helped me. It may not work for you, it may, but don't just stop fighting yourself, right? And start understanding yourself. You will really have a true breakthrough when you really stop fighting yourself and you start understanding yourself. Because we may think we know who we are, but I know some people don't like that word. But when triggers and stuff comes up, you quick to remember sometimes like, you know what? Dang, I thought I was here, but I really ain't, right? So understand yourself, understand how you even got back to that place, understand why it makes me go back into feeling this way, right? Or why I'm back into depression, or why I'm back into being aggressive, right? Or why I'm back into being mad at the whole world. Understand yourself, because when you do, as she said, that opportunity comes in, you're able to grow. And your growth goes to, I think you said, transformation. So it all works together for that. So I just want to leave you with a challenge, right? I ain't going to say assignment like I normally do with the kiddos, but I'm going to leave you with a challenge this week, right? So identify one self-sabotaging pattern that you've been repeating. I know I shared mine from past tense on what I used to do in school and stuff and how I learned and how it helped me during this time. But I want you to really do this challenge. And for the ones that engage, I know the ones like, see, that's why I didn't respond. But I am, because we are a community and we lift each other up and we're truly helping each other grow through what we go through. So I'm going to put it in the chat. But I'm also going to reach out before Tuesday come back. I'm going to reach out and see, did you identify one self-sabotaging pattern that you've been repeating? Write it down. Be honest about it. And then just take one small action, as we mentioned, just one small step. What you say, not 10, but just one small step, one small action that moves you into a different direction. And that's all my 2 cents. But I am going to check in on y'all because I don't want to just do this and just, I've never been like that for the likes or for the clout, as they say, or trying to make this big old profile. I really, truly care about people. Yep. And so we're going to do a community. I want to be involved in my community. I don't want to just have one and it's just a Tuesday thing. I want to know, hey, sis, hey, bro, did you do this? Did you write your step down? Did you figure it out? Well, this is what I had. This is what I think. And just share it. And if you shop for it, I understand. You don't have to. But I just think sometimes when someone cares and you show that accountability and be accountability partners, it helps you because we're going through what we're going through together. That's all I have to say.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yep. So guys, we really thank you so much for joining us for another Transparent Tuesday with the PsycHE in Me community, where we keep growing, as Brittany loves to say, keep growing through what we're going through. That is her motto. And I love it because it lets us know that we all are growing as we going. So until next time.